I've been styling for 30 years in television. How I got into that was, I mean, I didn't even know styling existed as a thing.
I see a lot of people who are like, well, my doctor, is like, yeah, you're stressed out.
Yeah.
Let's go find the root of where that stress is
Right.
coming from instead of just masking that pain for the rest of
Right.
your life.
Yeah. And
Wow,
it's pretty
that could be fun.
amazing how it does that. The experience that I had with you, like, I remember texting you just saying, like, I felt so safe and so peaceful. And so when I walked in today and you're like, save it for the podcast, I felt a shift that has just lasted. It was like, it brought to the surface and a deeper knowing of, yes, you are who you are, and that's great, and be that person. Like, step into it, own it. You know what I mean? Rather than like shying away from it. I think somewhat I've shied away from some of my stuff, and shrinking smaller and all the things. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not shrinking any longer. So when you're younger, take every job that comes your way. The hardest ones will teach you the most. When you want to quit, don't.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're Dina. We met in
Yes.
interesting. We can maybe get into that a
Yeah,
little bit.
totally.
But tell us who you are, what you've been doing the last 20, 30 years. You've been a stylist all your life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of got into it in a weird. I kind of fell into it, to be honest with you. I've been styling for 30 years in television. How I got into that was, I mean, I didn't even know styling existed as a thing. I'm from Jersey. My dad had a trucking company. My mom was a travel agent. Like, everybody I knew, like, wore suits and ties to work or whatever, right? And so I always wanted to come out to LA. I thought it was going to be like being down the Jersey Shore 24/7, which I realized LA is not that at all. Not at all. It's like a city.
Yeah.
And I came out here after school. I was working for a denim manufacturer in New York, Gitano, and I was in their ad department. And I was kind of got into fashion style that way. But when I came out here, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I had a couple of different jobs at different places, and I ended up working for a garment manufacturer. And it was in the Calamart building, and that place ends up closing. And when it was closing, this guy that was running the office said, you know what, there's this lady in Hollywood, and she sets up all the wardrobe trade outs for television shows. So back in the day, she had done Entertainment Tonight, the first one that said so-and-so's wardrobe provided by, which they used to do, right? They don't do that anymore because everybody's on Instagram posting and tagging. Like, none of that existed. So she did that. So he said, you know all these brands from being in New York and in that industry. Why don't you go check out this lady and see, she connects stylists and shows with brands and manufacturers. So I was like, okay, fine. So I went there, again, not thinking I was going to end up doing that. I thought I was just going to be this liaison thing. Well, that's where I started working with stylists. And I was like, this is so fun. Like, I just felt like an affinity towards it, And so there's another woman in the office, Joanne Lavin. And she said, the next show that comes through here, let's tell them not only will we set up the trade outs, but we will style it as well. So I was like, all right. So we go into this meeting. It was a talk show, Vicki Lawrence's talk show, who I'm still friends with her today. And we go in and we get the job. And now I've never done this. She's never done this. She has a background in fashion. I have a background in fashion, but like, I've never styled people.
Right. You
and
weren't
now,
Googling it at this time.
No, exactly. And now I've got this gig on NBC, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I immediately call up a stylist friend and I'm like, okay, so I got this job. What do they expect me to do when I get there? Like, I don't know what to do. So she's like, okay, come to my house. I was like, okay. I'm like, I know I can dress somebody, but like, what else is there? I know there's a bunch of stuff I need to know that I don't know. So I went to her house and she sat me down, and at that time we used to have like tackle boxes as our kits. So, like a regular bait and tackle. So all the little compartments, it's like, okay, you need Top Stick, which is the Too Faced tape. You need thread, you need lint roll, you need all these things. You need chalk in case somebody gets makeup on white and it doesn't come out. Like, all these little things. And she talked me through it, and I was like, okay. And I went and again, we did the styling portion, and then, we got in. I'm like, okay, there's a fitting. We're like, what do we do there? And she's like, well, you're not allowed to touch them. There's a tailor there. They can touch them. You can't. I was like, okay, because there's all these rules because of the union.
Yeah.
And
you can't touch the talent. Is that what? The
yeah.
deal
So
is?
I'm not supposed to. At that time, I was a a costumer. Now I'm a costume designer. I'm not supposed to like do the pinning or like, and I'm very physical with people when I work with them. I mean, I have to touch it, you know what I mean? And, it was fine. I mean, you know, all that stuff. And so I did, and I was so nervous, but it just was like, it just flowed. It just was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to take you back to another story. It has nothing to do with actually the styling part, but talk about like manifestation and like living what you're supposed to live and your truth and all of that stuff. Maybe 4 years prior to that, I was out here on a trip with my cousin, and I went to the Tonight Show. A friend of hers lived in Burbank, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get you tickets to the Night Show." We're like, "Okay." At that point, it was not Johnny Carson; it was Jay Leno.
Yeah.
And we were sitting up in the audience, and I don't remember this until. Let me think how to tell this story so that the punchline actually makes sense.
The power of manifesting. Is this the one we're running?
Yes, it's totally the power of manifesting. Okay, so I'm at NBC. I'm going to go backwards. I'm at NBC. I'm working on this show, this talk show, this first show that I'm on. And it was on, I think it aired for two or three seasons or something like that. And I shared a room with The Tonight Show. And when we went down, I went and did another show. And then the person that was like the second in charge of The Tonight Show was leaving. So the guy in charge of it, Jeff, says, "Hey, you know, so-and-so's leaving. Do you want to pop in?" I was like, "Okay, that sounds great." So now I'm on The Tonight Show. I'm like, this is fantastic. So one of the days when we have musical acts on the show, they do rehearsals and they want to shoot the camera angles, right? So they want to like put people in different seats so they can call the angles and get the shots in rehearsal. So I'm sitting in the audience, like, during my day of work, you know, I'm normally like doing everybody's clothes. Now I'm going to jump in the audience so they can get camera angles, go do my job. And it was like this whoosh came back to me. And I remember sitting in the audience. I had been out there with been out to the Tonight Show with my cousin like 4 years prior. Ooh, sorry.
It's all good.
And I'm an Italian talker.
Yeah.
And saying to my cousin, and I didn't remember it, literally till sitting in the seat, I don't know what anybody down there is doing, but that's what I want to do. Like, I didn't know, like, it just looked cool. And then, you know, 4 years later, I'm literally working, maybe 5 years, working on The Tonight Show. Like, never said it once, kept moving with my life, never thought about it again, and then it happened.
Wow.
And like I said, not even going towards it or remembering it or whatever.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. It was like a trip, literally.
That's
wild.
wild.
It was crazy.
And then you're sitting there, you're like, I was here. I knew this. This is what I wanted.
Yeah. And I didn't even know I wanted it.
Yeah.
So that's what was weird because it looked like some sort of other world because it is, you know, television production is different from the rest of the world.
Right.
There's so much back stuff that goes on. Like I said, I didn't know I wanted to be a part of it. And then like I just landed there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty wild.
It's kind of like the universe stepping in for you and showing you what you're going to be doing.
Yes.
And then once you continue to be supported in that, you're like, oh, I guess this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I find that like a few times throughout my life in big ways, you know, where all of a sudden there's a moment, you know.
Right.
I recently moved to Newport Beach. And for years, like we had a timeshare down there and we would go down there. And I've had some life changes recently. And I'm living there. And I remember for years going down there and go like, how does this all work? Like, how do these people get to live here? You know, like on Balboa Island, that's where I walk right now. Like in the mornings, I get up and walk. That's where I walked this morning.
Yeah.
Listen to the music that you sent me. I listen to that literally every day.
Nice.
Every day. Because it keeps me connected to the moment. But I was like, how does this all work? Never thinking I was going to live there.
Right.
And now I live there and I'm like, I couldn't be happier.
Kind of wild.
Yeah.
So let's step into that. Like, so we ended up getting introduced through
Amanda.
Amanda, that's right.
Yeah.
Love you, Amanda.
I know. I love Amanda.
She's so great.
She is.
And then you came in.
Yeah.
And totally open to discuss whatever it is you want to discuss.
Yeah. I am too.
Yeah, great. So it's, you know, we were introduced. You're going through some life changes. If you want to, you know, really, you know, part of this show too is being able to, people can relate with you, going through different changes in your life, whether it's relationship, work, something in our lives that brings us to these types of experiences, these ceremonies. So if you want to share any bit about that, you can.
Yeah. So for me, I met Amanda on a show that we were doing, and she was telling me, about you and her experiences with you. And I was just like, I'm going through a shift. So my husband and I have split up. It's all fine. It's all good. Like, we're both happy. There's nothing ugly. It was just time, we both were just kind of going separate ways. And then I'm also kind of not stepping out of what I do, but kind of expanding what I do in a way. And so it's all and then I moved, and all of these things are happening all at once. And she was like, "This is like a good time for you to do this." And I'm definitely into the woo. Like, I just did my Akashic records, and I do like all the things. I'm a manifesting generator.
Right.
All the things. And so I was like, "This is the right time to come to you." And then we had tried to do it for a while, and then I couldn't get here. And I always think, timing is what it's supposed to be. You're there when you're supposed to come. And I came. It was only, I think it was like a couple months ago.
Yep.
And it was so, the experience that I had with you, like, I remember texting you just saying, like, I felt so safe and so peaceful. And so when I walked in today and you're like, save it for the podcast, I felt a shift that has just lasted. And what the shift really was, it wasn't like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, this thing happened and now I'm somebody else. It was like it brought to the surface and a deeper knowing of, yes, you are who you are, and that's great. And be that person. Like, step into it, own it. You know what I mean? Rather than like shying away from it. I think somewhat I've shied away from some of my stuff, and shrinking smaller and all the things. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not shrinking any longer.
Right.
It's not about the shrink, And so I feel like what happened for me was just more of an inner knowing, and an inner peace with like, yes, you're doing the right thing. Go with your gut. I've always believed that. Like, my dad used to always say, like, what's your gut saying, you know? And I just thought that was a saying, but I am definitely one of those people who I have to listen to my gut.
Right.
And when I go against it, it's never, I'm like, why? Don't use your head.
Yeah.
Don't think with your head. Just listen to your body. What is it saying, you know? And like I said, when I was here in that moment and doing that ceremony with you, it was very like in the moment and I just felt like me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned too, it was stuff that you already knew. Yeah. That was coming to the surface, but it just came to that point of like, oh yeah, uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's true. Like, I think it was one of those things where I was just like, this is your truth, Dina. Like, this is all stuff you think and you want. And part of it is, and I think we talked about it when I was here, I wasn't trained to do what I do. I didn't go to school for fashion. I didn't whatever. And so there was always a sort of like imposter syndrome about it. I've been doing this for 30 years on some of the biggest shows in television. Right. And I'm still like, do I know what I'm doing?
Yeah. Did you get a degree for this?
Exactly. And I finally got to the moment where, and it was, this has been happening for a little bit, but I finally got to the moment where I kind of equate it to like a musician. They're just given a gift. And like, this is my gift. I don't know how I know it. And obviously doing it for so many years and literally dressing thousands of people, every shape, size, color, creed, anything, kids, adults, grandparents, costumes, real clothes, all the things that obviously I've gotten better at it. And I've learned things along the way. And, you're constantly learning. But I realized I just have this in me. It's just innate, and where before I was like, do I know what I'm doing? And I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And like, this is my gift.
Right.
There it is.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. And how did you continue to manage this afterglow to continue this post ceremony? There
was one song in particular, Higher Than a Mountain.
Higher Than a Mountain. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I listen to every morning.
Nice.
And you had sent me a few things, an Alan Watts thing, and I listen to it every morning, and it just keeps me connected to it, and it takes me right back to the moment, and I am what's the word I'm looking for?
Integrating.
not insecure. It's an I word.
It's an I word.
It's an I word. It's I am like when you're you're
In tuned, insight.
Yeah. What is wrong with me?
You know,
Because it's the same thing that I think that that's what you have to, do like with your clothes when you get dressed every day. You have to be like
intentional.
That's it. Such a hard word.
Yeah. You got there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm intentional about keeping in touch with what I experienced.
Yeah.
And I'm intentional about where I go and what I do. And I'm intentional about like my life going forward now. Because like I'm at a point, like I've done so much, I've lived so much life, seen so many things. And I'm like, what do I want to do now? Like so many times in life, you're just kind of like pushed with the wave. And sometimes that's good. And sometimes that's just like, it is what it is, you are. But really, I'm just trying to be really intentional about everything. So I intentionally listen to that song every morning.
Nice.
I intentionally sit down and journal every morning, like my gratitude and like my manifesting and what I'm excited about. I intentionally read every morning, like something inspiring, whether it's like, religious or, something about me, just personal growth, Sure. I have a hard time really relaxing. Everything I do is like, even like when I'm relaxing to read, like, Dina, just read a novel. Just relax. But I'm always like wanting to learn and grow and everything else because it's like, it only gets better.
Yeah.
Like the more you know and the more you do, it only gets better.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's a big part of it. I think being able to share that with other people, how intentional you are in the morning with your different practices. I'd say that's a big part of continuing integration is practice. So whether that's journaling, gratitude journaling is great.
Yeah.
A song that takes you back to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, that's what I had said. I mean, maybe you want to cut this or not cut this, but like I have thought about you after that. I'm like, people want to connect with this room and this moment, like have the stuff that they can take home with them, have the mask, have the mat, have the thing. Yeah. I went home and I bought the rose spray.
Nice.
Like I literally like recreate that moment in my life because the physical things as well as the mind things, it all brings you back, and keeps you connected to it.
Right. Yeah. So there we go. She's planting seeds right now. Yes. So the ceremonial mask.
Yes.
What was the other ceremonial mask?
I definitely think you need to give people some of the music. Yeah. And maybe because you're watching, I don't know, like for me, I asked you, like, I want that song. I don't know if people have that thing or whatever. But if you're watching and you see people have a moment, maybe you like jot down like what's the song that I can see they're having a moment to, and share it with them or something. I think the blanket is like, I don't know, cozy, and it's just so wonderful. The rose spray, all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Little Palo Santo.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, and then I mean there are a few good key songs, but then also I've recorded some of the sound as well.
Yes.
Like the gong work and
which
the
I
bowls.
love.
Yeah. So
I mean, I just love that part of it too.
Yeah.
It was just so I don't know, what was it? It was like peace.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just feel like at home in your own soul or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hence the name Soul Line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, it really is.
So would you say your medicine then is styling? If you think.
Yeah. Well, so yes, I think it's part of it.
I guess you're personal, and then there's the business side of you.
And they are connected. Like I am intentional about whatever. I intentionally thought about what I was wearing here today. I'm intentional when I go places. And one of the things that I think that people don't necessarily, and that's how you said to me, like, come on the podcast. I don't normally have people like you, but when we started to talk about what I do and how it helps people, that's when you were like, you know what? Do you want to come talk about this? Because not everybody realizes that there is a connection between what they put on in the morning and how they show up in the world, and that you can actually be, again, intentional about it and set yourself up for whatever thing you want to feel or experience. Like when I came here, I'm like, okay, I want to wear white. I want to whatever. I want to look like a stylist, you know. But like, there's the hippie side of me too that like is wearing whatever.
Right.
That's not appropriate for this moment, right? And when I put those clothes on, it evokes a different emotion in me, and it evokes a different Dina, right? And so when you're intentional about what you wear, and whether that's in business or in personal life, you know, you want to bring a new person into your life, you want, you know, a new career shift, you want more money, whatever you want to do, you can use those clothes as a tool. And like, I've had people say to me, like, this is better than therapy, because they don't realize, like, I talk about, like, you know, when you were a kid and you put on like the superhero cape,
Yes.
like all of a sudden you're like, da, 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 you know what I mean? And you just feel different. Or you put on like the sweatshirt from college, it feels different. Or like your dad's watch, and it makes you, all these things evoke things. And there's a connection with clothes, right? So like, again, with your dad's watch, you now feel connected to somebody, right? And it's maybe a grounding force. Maybe it's like if you're going to like pitch for an investor or whatever, you know, you're putting on like the clothes that make you feel really strong, you know, you're going to meet maybe a new date or whatever, you put on, maybe you want a softer side of yourself. So you can really be intentional about that. And I think that that's something people don't really think about. Some people are like, what am I going to wear? And I'm like, how do I want to feel? And that's what I try to tell people. Like, it's not about just, and I never got the thing, and I don't know that guys do this, but girls do. What are you wearing? What does it matter what I'm wearing? You should wear what you want to wear and feel how you want to be when you show up in a place.
Right.
Not go off what I'm wearing, you know? But really think about that. Not just like, oh, I'll put something on, especially like you're having a bad day. I've done this where, you know, you're having a bad day and you dress a certain way. I'm like, I don't want to be too comfortable when I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
I want to feel a little bit more like, I don't know.
Empower.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, and so I've literally changed my clothes in the middle of a day. Like, I'm the person who got dressed every day during COVID. Like,
Nice.
I don't get it. I don't get how people like put on sweatpants every day.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying I dress like this every day, but I got out of my pajamas.
Yeah.
And how about people like going on Zoom calls for work? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
People are receiving you this way. You
Right.
know what I mean? And whether you think it or not, people are judging you because that's what we do. This is all we have to go by.
Yep.
Before we know somebody, of course, right?
Yep.
But they meet you and it's like, what is this? What is this saying, right? What do you want to show up as?
Right.
This sloppy guy all the time?
Yeah. Sweatpants and your 30-year-old t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it doesn't matter. It does matter.
Yeah.
And it not only matters to the people like who are receiving you and your message, because it's like, if you're sloppy in the way you look, maybe your messaging is sloppy, right?
Yeah.
But it's also how you feel every day. Like, if I put on something like that doesn't feel great, I'm not going to do great.
Yeah. Most people, when they put a suit and tie on, your black tie event,
right?
You're like, oh,
shoulders
come up a little bit.
That's exactly what you just did right there. That little, that is the moment that I live for in fittings when I work with people.
Yeah.
Because there is a moment that everybody, you know, a lot of people come to me, want to be pushed out of their comfort zone into like a new level or a new something. Some people just want to elevate what they're doing, or some people just want to get more clothes. But when people haven't really experienced or don't get it, like, I take them through a process. And we start talking before we ever start looking at clothes, right? I'm like asking the questions.
So
like,
when someone hires you to be a personal stylist or pick clothes for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, even when I do a show, like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to be perceived? Like, what's the activity level in your life? Like, because it also has to make sense. Like, just because you want to wear suits, it doesn't mean, like, if you're a gardener, it's probably not going to work,
right.
you know, every day. You know what I mean? So it has to all make sense. So we talk about all of that stuff. But I think that moment, people they never really get intentional. That's the word of the day. That's the word of the hour, people. But they don't really think about it. And so I take them through that process and they're like, wow, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Like, and I'll have them send me pictures. Like, what do you like to see yourself in? And I don't care if it's a bathing suit. I don't care if it's a tux. I can look at, like, I'll have people send me a number of things so that I can understand. I can pull out of that what they're seeing. Like, I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. They're drawn to X, whether it's a shape or a color or a whatever. And you like you say, you can see yourself. Like when you put on that tux and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you feel different, And then in the fitting, so I'll go through the questionnaire, and then I always do a mood board. We talk about like what it is they want, how they want to show up, and then I create a visual so they understand I'm not just showing up with a bunch of stuff, because same thing is like words. They don't necessarily, everybody's words mean different things when it comes to style and fashion.
Sure.
Like one person's edgy is not another person's edgy, right? One person puts on like a silver necklace and they think they're edgy. Another person needs to be like black studs, leather, all the thing head to toe, right? So it's like I had to see what you think and then give me the words around that, right? And then I kind of go through this whole thing and I make something so that there's a visual representation of what I think that is for you, what I think will work on you, like physically, as well as, what the vibe is we're going for. And then when we get to the fitting part, I put the clothes on and they go in the mirror and they see themselves and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and like the smiles. Yeah, the shoulders go back, they smile a little bigger, all the things. And like, that's what I live for, literally. I can see the shift. And once you feel it, you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to, and look, not everybody, I'm not 100% every day,
Right.
We all have our days. I like my sweat. Well, actually, I don't really wear sweats. Yeah. But if I did, my version of casual, you know what I mean? It's just like, we're all still human.
Right.
We're not on 24/7.
Yeah.
But knowing that you can be when you need to be is a really good thing.
That's it. Mm-hmm. When you started talking about that earlier, I always see that as an affirmation too. Because when we affirm, what do you want to feel? Yes. I want to feel joy, peace, love, success.
Yes.
So that also will reflect in what you're wearing.
Yes.
And so the words are going to be a great thing for the morning affirmations.
Yes.
What I can tell myself, what's my mantra?
Yes.
But then also, how do you feel that way inside? Well, you can dress that way as well. Mm-hmm. Does this jacket make you feel good? Does this jacket make you feel successful?
Yeah.
How about the quality?
Oh, yeah.
Or the type of fabric that you're wearing?
And that's actually something that, again, we're always learning, right? Softer clothes, cashmere, natural fabrics, all those things all feel really good. And so, they're always going to make you feel good. But what I didn't know until recently, there's actual frequency to that.
Sure.
Which is like, there's a, polyester is no frequency, or I don't know what the frequencies are. But I do know that natural fabrics have a higher frequency, which obviously makes sense, right? And I knew it felt like that, but I didn't know that there was actual science. There's like literally science behind it.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you're something that doesn't breathe. You get a plastic polyester that's just making you sweat and holding all your energy in. That has a frequency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned last time you were working on a new initiative.
Tell me.
With the menswear, was it an app or a website that you could work?
So I have sort of pivoted to. So I work in television, and I'm not leaving television, but I've pivoted to really working on styling men.
Yep.
Specific for a couple of reasons. I think that there's a lot of women who style women, and there's plenty of them out there. I've worked with a lot of men hosts, a lot of men celebrities. So that's kind of like where I go. But I also feel like men getting a woman's perspective when they're getting styled. Like, are you asking your brother or your sister if you look good?
Right.
Your mom or your dad.
Yeah.
Like whoever.
Who are you trying to
the guy
impress?
your friend in the office that's a dude, or the girl in your office that's like, what do I,
Yeah.
So there's that aspect. But I also think that guys have not had the education around it. Like, they don't grow up reading, whatever Glamour, whatever magazines that, you read as a kid, girl coming up. And so, I've pivoted to working to men, and then I've kind of created one of my services. So I work one-on-one, and we can do like whatever you want to do. But I've created this one service called the Men's Edit, because I think a lot of guys just tell me what to put on. Just tell me what goes together. Like, I don't want to think. And basically it's a capsule where everything works together.
Sure.
So like, here's all the stuff. You don't have to think. I have an app that it goes along with it. I'll, put all the things in your closet, but you really don't have to think. And so that's kind of what I'm working on now. And we talked about like, there should be an AI me, which I'm going to work on that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
now's the time.
Yeah. Now is the time. So I really, I feel like so many people, like men and women, and maybe, it's definitely since COVID, but like everything is slipping more and more and more and more casual. And there's nothing wrong with casual, but it shouldn't be the everyday, everywhere, all the time.
Right.
Well, it's beachy. Oh, who cares? Like, I don't get it. Like, and so I literally am like, let's start a movement, like for people to dress better. Like people were annoyed when the guy who, what's the secretary of like the people who run the airlines, like the guy in the government. He says, you know what? Why don't you stop showing up in pajamas at the airport? Because I have a thing about that.
Yes, please.
And I've always been like that. I'm like, if you follow me, like you'll see in my posts every time I'm in an airport, I'm like, what's with the pajamas? Why are we doing this? Like you're going out in the world, And I feel like I don't get, I think it's not only like making us all like dumber, you are more respectful and respected when you're dressing a certain way. Like,
right.
So show up like that, and no one's saying wear a suit, but don't wear your pajamas.
Yeah.
There's a happy medium, people.
Yeah. Which we see with all the high school kids. Like the biggest thing is wearing sweatpants and some big heavy shirt yeah. I don't know what that is.
And I mean, I don't know either. And, they're kids, so you got to kind of chalk it up to that.
Right.
And hope they grow out of it.
Grunge and weed and...
Yeah, exactly. But when, the adults in the room aren't doing that, then where are the people to look up to anymore?
Right.
So even a lot of celebrities don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go, people.
Let's go. Yeah, we had the Oscars coming up here.
Yeah.
Were you busy
No,
with that?
I was actually, I was taping on Oscars. It was just last night.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do work on America's Got Talent. So I style Howie Mandel and I run the judge's wardrobe department. So I kind of oversee all that stuff. But my daughter was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah. So you've been nonstop with the American. Yeah. How long have you been on that show?
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah. The show's on its 21st season, but I've been there for 11 years. But I've been with Howie for 20 years. So
really?
I met him. Yeah, I met him on Deal or No Deal.
Yep.
Back in the day, I did him. I did the models. I did the contestants. I did everybody.
Nice.
Yeah, it has been nonstop. Super grateful for it. But that's why, like we were talking about, like being intentional about your life. When you're in production owns you. And I love it. Like no day is ever the same. It's always something getting thrown at me. Yesterday there was some, we were taping and somebody had to have their pants rigged immediately that they didn't think of in advance. And we're like, how do we rig these pants so it's a breakaway pant now? Like we've got 3 hours to tape, right? Live shows, it's like an energy. And I love that. But I also like to working with real people where I can kind of bring that magic, because I think being in television, I think differently about it than people that are just, I don't want to say just, or stylists. There's the word just.
Yep.
But they are that way and they haven't had that experience, right? In television where it's a big stage. Like, I remember the first time I did a show, I think the first time I freaked out about it was really Deal or No Deal, because I was on daytime mainly. I was on The Tonight Show and I was doing that. But I think the first big show was Deal, where it was so global. There was like 18, 20 million people a night watching. And let's go back to the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
There's 18, 20 million people like judging my work.
Who's behind this?
Yeah, exactly.
Girl.
Yeah, exactly. Who is behind this? And it's funny because Howie went on, and we did so many fun things on that. We went and did Oprah. We went around the world. We did that show. It was really fun. But I remember Martha Stewart, Howie went on her show while we were in the midst of it, and they started talking about the girls in the dresses. And she said to him, who does do all those dresses? They're all so perfect. I was like, exactly. I got Martha's stamp of approval.
Great.
Yeah, that was really fun. So every now and then I'm like, I pull that out of my
It's
memory.
one of those things no one ever thinks of.
No.
Like, oh, they just dress themselves. Howie's coming on stage.
That's
he
what
looks
I
great.
thought before I did it, you
Right.
know? I mean, and again, coming from television and working with regular people, there are tricks you learn along the way for camera, how camera reads, but it also reads different in real life, like you put on a jacket, and you take this much out of the end of a sleeve to give you a little more space here, and all of a sudden your whole body looks different.
Right.
And it's like if you're working so hard to look a certain way, then like let's see the body, you know.
So do you have your signature pieces that you've done over the years? I guess these little, like you're saying, oh, take this out.
Right.
That they're like, oh, that's Dina's. That's Dina's move.
I don't know if they're signature. I mean, I think a lot of people do what I do in this industry, but maybe not because, every time I work with people, they're learning from me too,
Yeah.
Like somebody's like, oh, that's Dina's pant move because I take a little bit like in the thigh to like slam down the leg or whatever, And where I learned a lot of it was this man, it was back, no, it was on with Donnie Marie. I did Donnie Marie's talk show back in the day. And
Good Lord, you have a career.
yeah. And I was working with this man, Rhett Turner,
Yep.
who was older at the time. And he did like the Carol Burnett show. He did Sonny and Cher. He was still working with Cher at that time. He did Donnie Marie when they were, back in the 70s. So it was him and Bob Mackie, if you know who Bob Mackie is. He's
Yep.
a huge designer. And so Marie had brought him on when I was working on their talk show. And not gonna lie, I was a little bit like, why is he here? And that was a gift because I knew what looked good and could make her look current and Donnie look current and all the things. But he really helped train my eye visually for television.
Nice.
And he taught me like all these little tricks about like changing out a button to a black button, or he's the one who gave me the pant leg thing. He's, taught me all these things about you want space between your body. And he was my mentor. Until the day he died. I'd, get some new thing that I'm like, oh my God, Rhett, what am I gonna do? Where do I find this? What do I, and he was always like, okay, this is what you're gonna do. This is where you're gonna go, And I met him very young, early in my career was, one of the first shows I did. And he's since passed away a number of years ago, but yeah, it was great.
Well, what an opportunity. I mean, you were just given the stage.
Yeah.
Whereas many people spend 20 years of their
Yeah.
career to hopefully get
Yeah.
a show.
Yeah.
America's Next Top Model
Yeah,
or
yeah.
any of these other ones that you've
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
So how fortunate is that?
I literally pinch myself.
Yeah.
I can't, and that's where you have to know that it's divine.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things when I was here where I felt who I am, what I do, how I do it, the way I do it, the people that I help and the people that I transform. It's divine. It's not me. It's coming through me.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way I can explain it. And that's why I say, like a musician, you're just given this gift and you put it out in the world. And that's the only way I can think that all this stuff lined up. Because I haven't stopped in all these years. I started, got it on a whim like crazy, right? And I've never stopped working. And I don't have to really make phone calls. And I don't really, where a lot of people are in it, they're out of it, they're this or that, And I am just super blessed.
Yeah.
And
how's that work in your world too? Do you have an agent that
I
pushes for
don't.
gigs? You just, yes, I will take it, Howie.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So a lot of people do have agents.
Yeah.
I don't. I've never needed one. I just never thought, like, I don't know. It never occurred to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just do what I do.
Right.
I'm getting calls. I'm getting work. Why am I going to get an agent? Like, start giving them 10% of everything I make? No, thank you. I don't. If I needed to, maybe.
Right.
But I don't need to. And that's why, like, with doing this thing for, like real people and like the men's stuff, I do want to maybe take less shows, and not take less because I don't want to do the shows. But there's periods of time where, like, I want to go back east and be with my family for however many months at a time. I can't do that in production.
Yeah.
Even though there's production back there right now, it'd be nice to just be like, I'm not going to do shows for like this amount of months, and I'm just going to do personal clients so that I can like make my own time and make my own schedule. Because when you get a call sheet, you're going to be there when they say you're going to be there.
Yeah. And how long is the shooting right now that you're in?
So right now we're doing the auditions for America's Got Talent. So that's like 11, 12 days.
Yeah.
And there, we do 2 sessions a day or whatever. And then that'll go, all of that stuff gets edited, goes into air. It'll start airing in May. And then the live shows start in like August. And then those will be 2 days a week, whatever. And those are super fun. I mean, the energy with live shows is incredible.
Yeah.
And again, everything is new until it's not, until it's like, oh, there's something, so I remember the first time I had to do a quick change. They're like, okay, if there's a commercial break, it's 2 minutes, you have to dress like, we were changing Howie and Heidi and like, I think one other judge into, I don't even know, I remember it being white, some kind of white thing, almost felt like astronaut or something. and you've got 2 minutes. And I'm like, what? You know? And it felt so like not enough time. Are we going to make, and they're like, okay, 30 seconds, da, da, da. And you're like, come on, come on, come on. And then, you know, you do it. And now I'm like, 2 minutes, that's not, you know, I have all the time in the world. But the other thing I learned about that is that, again, it's about energy.
Yeah.
So when you go into something nervous, you start with the fidgeting, your arms move a little bit like this or whatever, right? When you go in like, okay, it's fine, and move slower, everything happens faster.
Yeah.
It's like that in life, right? It's like just start moving a little bit slower and everything you want is going to move faster.
And back to the word intentional.
Intentional.
Yeah. So be really intentional about what you're doing.
Exactly.
Then you enter a bit of that flow state, I'm sure, when you're in that. It's like you could have 30 people you got to go dress. You're like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Boom,
exactly.
boom,
well, and
boom.
that's the thing is, so a lot of the shows I've done, a lot of game shows. And so I will get like 20 people and I'll get an hour to dress them all. Camera ready for like network television, primetime shows. And it's just like, and that's again part of my training. I just get people really fast.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I talk about telling your story through your style. Like you tell your story through your style. Like you always are in earth tones and like soft fabrics. You're never like you're not rigid. Your clothes that you wear, right? And you're intentional about it. You know, that shows your whole thing.
Feels
in your
good.
vibe. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so I have to, when I would get with the producers, they're like, okay, this person is a school teacher. This person is a farmer. This person is a lawyer. How am I going to get that across in the first however many seconds of somebody sees them on national television, right? And I have to do it in a way that they're also comfortable with, right? So they come in and it's weird, right? Somebody's like going to be like, show me your clothes, whatever. Okay, put this on, take that off. And, you know, and I have to make it so that they feel like themselves.
Yeah.
So I have like a room, like a sea of clothing. And I go on the shop for a couple of weeks before and I'm like, okay, this guy, like in my head, there's going to be a guy that's like this and that's going to show up. There's going to be a woman like this that shows up. There's going to be somebody that's like this that shows up. And I have like size ranges and all of that stuff. And some of the basics can kind of go anywhere for anybody, you know. But you have to pull out who the person is.
Right.
And make them look like who they are to the world, right? Like if you're a teacher, you're not going to be wearing whatever. And then feel like they are to themselves, you know, and I had to do it like really fast. So 20 people in an hour, like camera ready for whatever. That, talk about some training.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I get people so quickly because I just had to.
Yeah.
You know, there was no option.
So you're the one that's sitting at the airport being like, oh, if you would just do this, wear that. Oh, shorten the pants, for crying out loud.
Exactly. What are you thinking? Yeah. And it's so funny. So many people, when they meet me, well, two things happen. So many people meet me and they're like, oh, blah. And then I'll say, oh, yeah, myself. Like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it should make sense.
Right.
I should, right?
Yeah.
So that always happens. And then the other thing is they get uncomfortable because they think I'm judging them.
Right.
And I really don't. I mean, yes, in the airport I do.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Or when I'm just seeing people randomly in the world. But like people, when I meet people, I'm not judging them. I may get like hits of like, they should do this or I should tell them that. I was recently at an event and someone was asking me, you know, tell me if you see anything that I'm wearing that is weird or I should do something different. And they showed up and had something. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, but I'm not telling you in the moment. You can't do anything about it in the moment.
Right.
But what I'm doing is telling you the next day, which I did.
Yeah.
You know what? Next time you wear that, here's what I want you to do. Do a different shoe, do this, do that, you know, wear this, add a belt. It's like, oh my God.
Saved my life.
Yeah. Well, it does. I have had people say, like, you literally changed my life. So sometimes, again, in the game show world, a lot of those contestants, they'll go from show and then you'll see them another 10 years, you'll see them on another show. And I've had people that I ran into that I don't really remember. And they're like, you totally changed my life. Wow. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm stressing. But because they get that thing that we talked about earlier, they feel a different way.
Yeah.
You know, they feel better. They show up different, you know?
Well, I've seen those makeover shows where people all of a sudden they change their hair, change their style, they're speaking different, they're open, they're like, wow, there's a different presence about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when they see themselves in the mirror, they're like, I had no idea I could look like this.
Yeah.
And so they take on this new persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really a good feeling to do that for people.
Yeah.
It's like,
What's that?
Oh, you know what? It's my phone.
Oh, it's fun. No problem.
Speaking of intention, it's my activation. It's like a thing that reminds me of a mantra.
I can grab it if you want.
Yeah, sure.
No problem.
Sorry.
This is the good part. This is all part of the podcast.
I didn't realize when I have it on silent, it still does it.
This is the reminder to do your podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. That was our intermission.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Well, it's better than I've had it so many times in ceremonies where all of a sudden someone's phone is bleep, bleep,
Oh,
bleep,
yeah.
bleep, and then it becomes part of the ceremony.
Right.
I'm trying to gently go over and I'll go hide the phone or try and turn it off.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes it's just, they're like, oh, wait, is that my phone?
Yeah.
You know, you're
Exactly.
deep in the medicine space.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you hear your ring.
Yeah, exactly.
So annoying.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, I was really mindful of shutting everything off.
Yeah.
Being like, do not try to contact me.
Yeah. And shut off.
And, that's hard, especially in production. And at that point, I wasn't taping, so it was good.
Yeah.
Because when you're in production, it's 24/7. You're checking your email. You just have to.
Yeah.
Because things change so quickly. You can't, if I miss time, that's time I'm missing to get it done.
Right.
The end goal doesn't change. The thing is, we are taping on this moment. It has to be ready,
Well, in that, how do you keep your sanity? If you're, those sound like some long days.
Yeah, they can be. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It's just
Am I the person who's touched your mic the most time? I mean, literally, I'm like, boom, boom.
so many other people headbutt it. But how do you keep your sanity during that time? When someone's like, I don't like that outfit that I'm wearing, or B, like you're just kind of have to be on cue.
Yeah, you have to be on cue. When somebody doesn't, I never get it to the point where they're actually going out on camera or someplace and not liking it.
Got it.
I just won't. And a lot of what I do, I have to bridge production, what a network wants or what a client wants, versus with like talent. And I literally just did this show. It was like a number of streamers, and the client wanted them to look a particular way. And what I tell them all the time is, I know what you need and I know what you want and I know what like the level we need to be at. But I also you have to give me the space to get them where they need to be.
Yeah.
Because if they are not comfortable in what they are, you will not get what you're paying for. And that's just a waste of money. So you can't. So even sometimes if it's like not my favorite, but they feel good, they're going.
Yeah.
Because it's just my opinion of what looks better, right? At that point. If you put on something and like I feel like I'm shining and I'm like all that, then I'm going to be like all that, right? And if you're putting on something and I like, you look amazing, and they don't feel it, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
when I was working with this one guy, he was an actor and he was on a bunch of different stuff. And he was like, I've not worked with a stylist so many times. They want me to wear something. And they're like, no, you need to wear this or just put that on. He's like, you nailed it. Like you just got me and like showed up with all this stuff that was me. But I feel like you listen to me, and you're not trying to make me your version of me. You're trying to make me a better version of myself.
Right.
And that is what it's about. Not everybody is going to be a fashion plate, and that's okay too. Not everybody should wear every trend. I have a friend and he's always like, what kind of pants should I be wearing? And he's got very thin legs, and the legs are a little bit wider right now. And I'm like, no. Like we've tried it, and now he understands because the first time he walked in, he actually bought pants, walks in. I'm like, you cannot ever wear those again.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like I'm your friend, and I'm just telling you, it's not good. I don't care that it's trending. I don't care that your girlfriend's telling you this is what you need to wear. No. And he gets it now. And because now he always looks good and he always dresses. You got to dress for your body, not for your trend, And sometimes they mesh, and I'm like, when anything that's like on trend that works for your body or your style or your vibe, buy a bunch.
Yeah.
Now's the time to shop.
Yep.
It's all out there, because then there'll be another time where you're out there shopping and you can't find anything that feels like you.
Right.
And that's what I say to the people too. Like some people like, I don't know what's me. I'm like, but if I gave you something, you say, that's not me. So you do know what's you, right? Like you may not know how to pinpoint it, but if you know it's not you, you have to know that there's something that is you.
Yeah, start narrowing it down. And I think also it comes with age. I don't know how many, it's like, I feel like when people reach 75, there's this standard of clothing that's initiated that's just horrible. It's like they all go to I don't know, Ross,
Yes.
and they find the worst ugly pattern,
Yeah.
older men, older women. And I'm like, that shouldn't change.
No, it shouldn't. And I will tell you this. So I just Howie. Howie is 70 years old.
Is he really?
Yes, he turned 70
looks
this
great.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk
Does he
about
look like he dresses like a 70-year-old? No.
No, he looks
because
like
we don't
he's-
dress him like a 70-year-old.
Yeah.
And a lot of that too is, I think, your mental state, right? I mean, he's very young at heart, and we had this whole conversation just yesterday because we were, at AGT, and there was a bunch of people. Oh, Howie, they're all coming. I was like, does it ever feel weird? Does it ever get old? Like people coming up and recognizing you? Because this has been going on how many years? 50 years he's doing this? I don't know. You know. And he's like, no, it doesn't get old, and it doesn't get, like, I love it, like it makes me feel good. And he's like, what will make me sad is when people don't recognize me.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think that's ever going to happen because he keeps himself relevant.
Yeah.
And that's just who he is. He's like, he'll tell you himself, he's a very curious person. And so he's like doing Mr. Beast stuff. Like, that's like, a young person's game. Like what other 70-year-old guy knows from Mr. Beast and what it is, or Mr. Beast is asking him to be on his show? Like, it doesn't happen. That's because he remains relevant. So I think that thing with the older people, some people just like, same thing, I can't ever see myself like just retiring. Like, what am I going to do all day?
Right.
Like, okay, I'd like to have a little bit more free time to like travel or whatever, but like, then what?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
We're bored.
We're bored.
We need a mission.
Yes.
Something to keep our energy going into this world.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and I think those people lost their mission.
Yeah.
Their mission is like, I don't know, Mai Tais and...
Yeah. No offense to my grandmothers. They're all passed now.
Right.
But I swear they wore the same thing.
Oh, yeah, they
They had
did.
the same goofy dress and the bad plaid and color, or the colory. What am I trying to say?
Schmata.
Schmata? It was like these flower patterns
Yeah, exactly.
that were all the same. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
no. Did you do Mr. Beast then? Go with Howie?
No, Mr. Beast team did that.
Got a whole thing, yeah.
And Howie actually, I do Howie when he does most of his shows, all of his network stuff and all the big things. And he's got great style on his own. Like when you see him out and around, he's a cool dude.
Now, does he get that from you though?
When I met him, he had style for sure.
Yeah.
He likes art. He likes interior design. So how he likes design and things like that. Have I changed some of that? I think so. I like to think so.
Yeah.
We work really well together. We both get sick of the same thing at the same time. We're like, that feels like old Howie, or that feels like this, or like enough with the hats, or, whatever. He's fun to work with.
Or add some glasses, some different colors here.
Yeah. Well, he has an eyewear line which is really fun. So I like do all the glasses for him. So we're always doing different glasses. It's with CI Wear, and that's a really fun little project.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get your hands in a lot here then.
A little.
Yeah.
I like it.
So what's your AI version of you? I was just thinking of that when I went through your Instagram. I'm like, there's so many great videos of you.
Thank you.
You could upload that to some AI version. I don't know which one that is. And it could just replicate you, your voice and who you are. And so people could, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. What would Dina say about my outfit? And then your voice and AI version of you would come up and give your critique.
Is that how that works?
It's crazy. Yeah.
I need to do that, honestly.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah. I'm working on it. Somebody tell me the Tony Robbins one is amazing.
Yeah. And so it's all of his life's work that he's put in now to this app. So like ChatGPT, you can ask a question, but he has a ChatGPT version of Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. And so if you're having a relationship problems, anything that's going on, and it will be, type out your question, and then Tony Robbins' voice will come back and give you advice.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, that is. Did you ever do any of his events?
No, never did. I have friends that have gone.
I love
it. I've watched a bunch of his clips, and so I've done my research with him, but I've never gone to a live.
They're really another expansion for sure. And it's like, I feel I've gone, so I did two Unleash the Powers Within, and then one Date with Destiny, which is like it's kind of like a little bit of the next level. And I think it's like anytime you do, like same thing with what you do, your ceremony. Every time you go into something, you go in from a new space. So it's even if it was the same thing, it's never the same thing.
No,
because you're a different person going into it, right? So I'm like, I can't wait to work with you again because I'm like, okay, now I'm a different person going into it, right? And all of that stuff, and that's how I feel like with the Tony Robbins things are. Like you go into it, like, the walking on fire thing. That is pretty like, I don't know. It's pretty. 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 It's pretty.
Which I've done before.
Which is amazing.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, how did I do that?
Yeah. And my feet are fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, speaking of Tony Robbins and all this work you've been doing, it seems at a very young age you were at a really good space as far as career-wise. What led you into...
I love you at a very young age.
Yeah. When did you start? 20s, 30s that you got into?
30. I was 30 when I started.
30. So at what point in your life were you like, I'm going to start doing some of my inner work now? And what was that? We had Tony Robbins. You've done ceremonies here.
I have been doing it for quite a while, actually. Maybe 20 years ago.
Yep.
Just books here and there.
Right.
I think the first Tony Robbins I did was 15 years ago. But just, reading different books and, podcasts. What was that? There was no podcasts.
Right.
There wasn't a way to find all this stuff out, so it was just like find books or talk to different people. I was always, I think,
curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curious and how to get to the next level. I remember when I was at my dad's company, he used to give some kind of test to people that were going to work for him, like managers and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of them out there. I don't know what the names of them are. But I took one of those, and I thought it was so interesting because they just give you a bunch of questions. He's like, I want you to take this test, just learn a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And I still have that thing. And you answer all of these questions, personality trait, things. How would you handle this? How would you handle that? And it spits back out. I don't know how it did it back then. I guess it was computing then, or maybe it was actual people.
Right.
Actual people looking at it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now you put it into chat and it tells you everything, right?
Yeah.
And I still have that thing. And the thing is, it's still who I am today.
Yeah.
And I every now and then I kept it and I go back to it. I'm like, yep, that's still me.
Yeah.
Well,
it's fascinating because they've got the human design, our astrology. I've done the same thing. I answered the similar questions, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes, yeah.
The ceremony work and guiding and teaching and, some form of spiritual healing, medicine work.
Yeah.
I'm like, how in the world do my birth date align to some stars and, my blueprint of who I am?
Yes.
And
it's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy.
And I mean, the people can tell you that.
Yeah.
People that don't know you are listening to other people or whatever, people are coming through them and all the things. Have you done the Akashic Records?
Yeah.
I love that.
Unreal.
So I did it maybe 3 weeks ago, and I'm waiting. She's going to, she sends you, she's like, I'm not going to send you this for a few weeks. I want you to kind of like sit with, it was like when I lived with you.
Yeah.
You'll remember what you're supposed to remember.
Right.
And things will be what they're supposed to be. And it was the same thing with her. She's like, I'm going to send this to you in a minute because I don't want you, like going, well, what do I got to do? What do I, you'll sit with what's supposed to sit with you, you know, and then I'll, get the reminder and then you'll listen to it again. Which
is wild that some people have that ability to just tap into whatever voice is, however that's coming through.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And just, there's a knowing.
Yeah.
Again, it's like here, there's a knowing, that I had about myself, but this is another person having a knowing about me.
Yeah.
And having them say things that they don't even know. They'll be like, I don't know if this makes any sense to you. I'm like, it makes 1,000% sense.
Right.
It's wild.
Which is wild to see, is AI going to be our new Akashic Records?
I hope not.
I hope not either.
I'm sick. You know what? I love me some AI. I use AI, but I am not into it. Yeah. I think it's just like dumbing people down. Like, think first. Just try to think. And then if you can't think, then go to the AI. Or think, put it in there, and then maybe polish it or whatever. Right. Or take it and then make it your whatever. But this like spit it in, spit it out, put it out. Like, I don't know. And my daughter who is 23. What did she tell me? She told me the other day, she says, Mom, so she's Gen Z. The kids behind her, Gen Alpha, I guess. And she says, we're actually kind of like going backwards a little bit because we're seeing them, the kids after us, like they don't know how to read. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to do whatever. And we're like, oh no, like there'll be no Facebook, like there'll be no social media. There'll be no this, that. They're not getting phones. I'm like, that's why I kept you off the phone for so long, But to know that they're at that age seeing it about the kids below them.
Right.
So like I know some people are afraid of it. I'm not afraid of AI. I think it's amazing, and I'm actually working with another group of people on an AI styling app. That's not mine, but it's a different one, and it can be super helpful. Yeah. It's a tool.
It's a tool,
like anything else,
right?
If you look at it as a tool, it's great, and if you look at it as like it's going to fix your life, like get over it.
Yeah.
No one's coming to save you, and definitely not AI.
It's not. Well, I think what's happening is we're missing the learning steps to get there. If you can just put something in, get an answer.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
Right.
That's the part that's missing, because when you first stepped on doing your work, like you had to figure it out. You had to go talk to somebody who was there before, like, okay, so what's my toolkit look like?
Exactly.
What does this thing do?
Exactly.
Yeah. And your AI bot can't do all that for you.
No.
It's going to be an interesting time to see, where your work goes.
Yeah.
Where my work goes.
Well, do you know what? So in television, I had somebody who does makeup tell me she was on a set where it was a green screen, which if people know, there's nothing. It's just literally a green screen, and they can project onto it. It's not projecting, but I don't even know how it works myself.
Yeah.
But it shows up like you're in front of something, the Statue of Liberty, whatever you're in front of. And so there was a desk, there was chairs, the two hosts sat in. She's like, nothing else was in that studio, not even cameramen. She said, because the cameras are locked off. She's like, there was no camera guys, there was no this, there was no that. It was like a director in a booth, calling the shots, doing whatever. And of course, hair, makeup, and wardrobe were the only physical components of the thing, where normally there's a whole set department, set decorators and art department, building sets and all those things. So it is changing things for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But like another instance for that, my daughter works, she worked on the Avengers movie. She works in the art department. And there was the art director, whatever, the guy who
one
makes
of the art
it all.
people,
one of those people,
art director,
one of those fancy people, you're right. Yeah. They wanted him to do all of this stuff in AI to keep costs down, and they had shot a bunch of the movie, and he was like, "I'm not doing that. Like, no." I don't need my name on that. Well, like, no, that's not how I operate. If we can't do it this way, I'm not doing it. And he like left the film, and like, obviously they're doing it cheaper. Look, it's a business, right? It's show business. It's not show, make everybody's dreams come true. It's a business, right? Yeah. There's a bottom line. There's all the things. They've got to make money. So I get that. But there's also a craft, and there's an element that there is difference. You can, I personally can tell when there's an AI image versus a real image. Not everybody can though.
Yeah.
But my eye is super like dialed into things,
Right. Well, we have to remember the human element. I'd much rather have, a human come over and say, why don't you try this jacket? This might look really good.
Totally.
Yeah. So it's a little scary, as long as people are using the tool for good.
Yes.
But we'll see where this takes us.
And there it is, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see where this takes us.
Because there's definitely people using it for good, and there's definitely people that are not so good.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows where that goes?
Good Lord. I mean, a hammer can build a house or tear it down.
Yes.
So we're in that same place right now. Mm-hmm. It's going to be pretty exciting. But you said your kids are, how many kids do you have?
Two.
Two kids. Are they both in the...
No, so my daughter is kind of going into this. So she went to school for architecture, so she kind of ended up in this art department world. And my son is an entrepreneurial spirit. He's 21. He has his own mobile detailing business.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny. We had a conversation the other day, and he said to me, because he's always doing his ads, and he's doing all these things with it, right? And I'm like, what's the goal? Because I know you don't want to be like washing cars yourself the rest of your life. Are we like franchising? Like, what are we doing? You know? And he goes, I just want to prove to myself that I can do this. Like, no, this is the first one I'm doing. And then I'm going to take everything I've learned and do something else. I was like, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And he's 21. So you got, at that age, you're just hungry to just do it hands-on, everything myself.
And he is. And he's like learning all this stuff. So it's really good. They're both really like into learning and doing, and like roll up their sleeves and all that, which is great.
That's great.
Yeah.
And did you help your daughter get in, or how did she get interested in the business?
So she went to school for architecture. She went to school in London. Talk about a kid with like some chutzpah. She was with that class that graduated high school with no graduation
Right.
in COVID. So it was like we drove up. She hopped out of I mean, how freaking ridiculous.
That's stupid.
I'm like, I'm in the house with her. I can't stand next to her, take a picture.
Yeah.
You know, she gets out of the car, takes a picture with her. So she went to London, sight unseen, because we were supposed to go in April to look at the schools. Never got to go because everything was shut down.
Right.
Sight unseen to a school she had never been to, gets on a plane during a pandemic, goes by herself, goes to school, and she flourished over there. But so when she came out of school, she thought she wanted to do like stage design for fashion shows or concerts and things like that, and ended up working for a coffee place over there called Blank Street. And they had an in-house store build department. And like within 3 months, she got her own store build in Glasgow. Like there's a store that she designed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so then she was working there. And when she was in school, she had interned on Wicked, the movie. And they called her back and said, you know what? We're doing the Avengers now. Would you come back and, you know, be in the art department? So she got into it. So now she's really got the bug. Now she really wants to be in the art department. So
Nice.
yeah, I think she's going to stay in that
That's
world.
great.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, following mom's footsteps a
Yeah.
little bit, seeing the whole Hollywood entertainment
Yeah.
business, and
Yeah, they grew up with it,
yeah.
you know.
Now, were you also, you know, when they're getting dressed in the morning, we were like, maybe not this outfit.
Do you know what? When my daughter was little, and it wasn't about her clothes, it was about I was doing her hair one day, and she was probably like, I don't know, maybe 4 or something like that. And I'm like doing the part, whatever, you know, she's going to school. And I was like, and she's like literally took my hand and goes, Mom, why does everything have to be so perfect all the time? Boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? It doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Back to reality. Yeah.
And it was like, because of what I do in television, everything needs to be perfect. So it kind of like shifted into everything that I can't not see it.
Yeah.
You're like, you know, I can't not see it. That's how I'm trained to see it and
Right.
fix it and make it perfect. Like that's like the Martha Stewart thing. All the hemlines are perfect. Like all those girls were different sizes.
Yep.
They were different heights, all the things, but they all looked the same because I had to like, and so, so no, I let it go. And they both definitely have their own style and they did their own thing. You know, he was Mr. like 2 different color socks.
Like most kids, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's once you have the eye for it, like my brother's a contractor. And he'll walk into a house and be like,
Right.
you know, look at the
Yes.
handles on the
Yes.
door, like the finishes,
Yes.
and he'll
Yeah.
be like, you
Yeah,
know
you
where
can't not
everybody
see
skip,
it.
you know where everybody skip corners.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. In that, there's something in you that this was innate in you.
Yes, for sure.
Now, as a kid, growing up, was that also part of you? No.
No. I mean, the thing I know the moment when I understood clothes can change things I was in high school, because I was kind of like a tomboy up until then. Like I didn't really care, like whatever. And I remember it was like when the first designer jeans were coming out. It was like when Brooke Shields, like I don't know how old you are, but Brooke Shields was like did the Calvin Klein ad.
Oh, sure.
And so it was the skinny jeans, whatever. It didn't work on my body, right? And so everyone's wearing that. And I just don't look good in that. So I'm like sticking to my like whatever, carpenter pants, overalls, like I don't care, you know? And I remember going to this place, Jersey City, cut school. Took the bus to Jersey City with my friend, go shopping, and found this pair of jeans that was completely different cut. Like didn't look like anything that anybody, it was like, looked more like a trouser.
Yeah.
And I don't know, made me try them on because I didn't know. And I tried them on, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I get it. And those flipping jeans like made me feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
Because it was like all of a sudden I understood, you know, it's not me. It's those pants that
Right.
everyone's wearing don't work for me. And that's when I like understood it. And then I had like, I can name 3 pieces. The pants, that shirt, that I can name 4 items, like literally in that whole period that made me understand. So the pants was the first thing. Another one was this purple shirt that I got. It was like this particular color, and I could all of a sudden understand how color affected me and how I could see that I looked different and that I felt different.
Yeah.
That was another one. Another one was this Indian print shirt that I still like wear lots of Indian prints in my off hours. It just feels like me, like my soul, you know? And so whenever I put that on, I just was like, when I needed to feel like me, I would feel like that. Like the purple thing made me feel like whatever, you know, the pants were always a good thing. And the Indian shirt made me feel that. And then I had this silver, it's funny because it's a silver chunky necklace. And no one was wearing that stuff. We had gotten on a ski trip to Colorado when I was a kid. It was this big silver face, just like the outline of a face. And whenever I put that on, it was the same thing. I felt connected to it.
Yeah.
And so I never went towards that. I never thought about doing it for other people. I was just like, I understood it for myself at that point. And then I started to pay attention to it. Like, how does this make me feel? Do I feel good in this? Do I, you know, not only do I look good, but do I feel good? Because again, we go back to, I could make you look amazing or what one would think is amazing. And if you don't feel good in it, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because what's beautiful is the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the outside is one thing, but like when the inside shines out, that's the beautiful part, right? And that only comes out when you feel like yourself.
Yeah. I remember that feeling too when I was a kid. Remember Jerbots were in?
Yes.
And so I remember, you know, everybody was wearing Jerbots, and I got my first pair of Jerbots. I'm like, all right, put them on. I had my Guess shirt. It said Guess right across the front. And I was like, you know, okay, this is so cool. But then I was like, I don't really like this shirt, but I'm wearing it because it's trendy and it's cool. And that was the last time I really went through this phase of I got to wear the label.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
that was young
pretty
to
young.
learn.
I was in high school. I guess junior high school, somewhere around that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear what feels good. I'm still going to get good quality or ask my parents to get good quality.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, at the time. But I do remember that. We're like, I don't really love this shirt, but I'm wearing it because it's trendy or it's popular right now. And I think that's what feels so good. Like I can wear something now where I just know the fabric feels good. Oh, this is nice. It breathes. But I'll never go for the, you know, especially the big flashy blah.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, which is a smart move.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people think if you buy the designer thing and you have the look, like so many people get, which is for me sad, they get their worth out of other people's, like, if you have to wear that thing up here that says it's a $4,000 shirt,
right?
That's for other people to know you're wearing a $4,000 shirt. Because I've worked with very wealthy people who don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they don't have anything to prove.
Yeah.
They're secure in themselves, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm wearing this so that you get that I can afford this.
Right.
Okay. I mean, and some people like it because there's certain things that are fun and cute or whatever. But a lot of people wear it just because, like, when everything is head to toe, every day a label, like, you've got bigger issues.
Now, how about into purses? Because I know for women, it's a big thing to have. You got to have the nice Chanel.
Yeah, and I definitely have. I mean, I have, I have some of the bags because I like it. I don't feel like I have to have it.
Yeah.
You know, I have really good quality things that don't have a big old logo on them. But I will say this. There is something to be said when somebody sees you and they associate, if they don't know, right? Like people who know, right? People that know good stuff. But if they don't know and they do see a logo, whether it's a belt or a bag or a shoe or whatever, they have an association now.
Yeah.
So it can be helpful in business or in whatever you're doing because now they associate with either money or status or exclusivity or, you know, you have to be on the list to get that Birkin bag, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just get one.
Right.
So it can be a useful tool in that way. But again, you know, hopefully everybody gets to the point where they don't have to prove themselves in that way.
Yeah, it's not everything.
No. But it can be helpful.
Right.
You know, so it's like I teeter on that one.
Yeah.
Because I had a client and he was like, he was not a logo guy. He was not and I didn't think he should be. And very fit, all the things. And I'm like, but you need a good belt. Like, you just need to walk in the room and have the belt. Like, and I don't want to get you I wanted him to have like a logo belt, but I got like a matte black one. So it kind of went away and you didn't see it. But somebody he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, just a little subtle.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little touch.
Now, can you take a picture of somebody or a video of somebody and automatically, without even speaking to them, recommend clothing for them? Yeah. Have you done that online with people already?
No, and I probably should do that. Just start having people send me stuff and whatever, because that's what, like, the men's edit, a lot of that's going to be virtual, but I'll still go through the whole process of, again, I think if I don't know who you are internally, then it's not going to be, but I can absolutely make anybody look amazing from the outside. Now, is it going to be them? Probably, because I'm going to see what they're wearing already, and I'm going to understand who they are.
Yeah.
Like like people read tea leaves. I read clothes. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
But so yeah,
Yeah.
I can, and that's probably actually a really good little series for me to do.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe
send me your
that's
picture, yeah,
you know,
and I'll like send them boards or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
the next
smart.
phase.
Note to self.
Yeah, note to self. So how many? Because you're going to continue these shows, but maybe
I love it.
Yeah. And by the way, the America's Got Talent. Do you ever get to see people like, oh my God, you look great, but your talent isn't?
Oh, for sure.
You're like, I don't care what I dress you with.
Oh, for sure. So many times they'll come out and, the judges are like, oh, you look like a star. You're the whole package, the personality. And then they start singing like, oh, Madonna Mia, like it's not happening,
Yikes.
Yeah. So it can help, but it definitely helps, but it can't get you where you don't belong.
Yeah.
It's like if you can look the part to get in the room, but you still have to do the work to like show that, you can do the thing.
Are you seeing all of the beginner, the trials? I guess there's different stages as America's Got Talent. So are you seeing all the crap that comes through as well?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what we're in right now, auditions.
Yeah.
So they do a whole thing before I ever get there where they do auditions like online, or they'll go to cities because, they get thousands of submissions. They got to get it down to 100. They've got to get it down to 100 so it's somewhat manageable, then run them through auditions, and then that gets edited down to who makes it on the show. So there's tons and tons of that. And those people don't really work with wardrobe, all the talent, until they get to the live shows, and then a whole other department comes in. Now, it's definitely sometimes I have to help people. Like I was saying, yesterday a guy came in and we had to rig a pant real fast because they wanted something to happen. Or somebody comes in and they've got this really great talent and they really don't know how to, they don't have maybe the money to like buy themselves a whatever they need, or don't know how to dress themselves. And be like, can you spruce this person up? And we'll do that. But for the most part, all of those people are dressing themselves in auditions. And then when we get to live shows, that's when that department comes, and that's insane, that world. I mean, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy. They do such an amazing job, and with very little time. Yeah. Very little time, because they don't know who's going week to week. Yeah. So they have to wait, and then, there's a choir of, 50 people, plus all these other people, and it's like, that's 50 people you have to dress, plus all these others. That's not necessarily a robe. Yeah. It's like all these cool things, they do a great job.
Yeah. So now when I talk to actors, sometimes they're like, there's a role that they missed out on or didn't accept. Is there a show or anything that you've been offered that you didn't take?
That I wish I did.
Or movie?
There's definitely things I wish that I took that I wish I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes the opposite way too. You're like, America's Got Talent.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. No. No.
Okay, we won't
I feel like I'm a little bit of a no regrets kind of person.
That's good.
Because I feel like what's meant for me is going to be mine, and what's not meant for me is not. Like, I'm actually right now gunning for something that was like this woman called me about this thing. And
that was my next question. What is the one that you're manifesting now moving forward?
I'm not going to speak it out loud on this camera. I'll tell you.
Okay. Off camera. I won't say anything.
Yeah, no. And I don't know if they're moving forward with it or not.
Is it a show right now?
It's actually more of it's not a show. It's more of it's a Netflix thing, and it's really adjusting all there. Because let's talk about manifesting again. Yeah. So like back in October, or maybe it was September, because it was AGT. We were during AGT, and we went to Vegas to do this one act. And I was just like, I don't know why. I guess saw the sports book maybe, and I was like, I need to get to Super Bowl. Like, I need to go to a Super Bowl. Like, that's one thing I haven't done. And because we talked about it. And then all of a sudden, a month later, friend calls like, hey, you want to go work Super Bowl? I was like, what? Wow. And I did. And so that was great. And so then I got this call, and it's to do all these. Netflix is doing a bunch of sports shows, which I didn't even know they have sports.
I didn't realize either.
And they're looking for somebody to manage all the talent. And it's a lot of men. There's a couple of women. It's a lot of men. And so it would just be a great thing for me in terms of the visibility of
Sure.
it. And when I got that call, and I don't know whether they're going forward or not, because this one person was handling it and they're talking to a few people. And again, if I get it, I get it. It means I'm supposed to. And if I don't, it means there's other things planned for me, right? But in that moment when I got the call, I'm like, that's why I got the Super Bowl. Because I was on the field. I saw how that department ran, because I was doing it for somebody else because she couldn't be there. And I was like, okay, that's why that happened.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to understand the working. So when I had that conversation, I'm like, oh, you need blah, 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 blah. I mean, how many people do you need? Where do they need to be? I knew all the things because I literally just did it.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Well, good. I'm crossing my fingers for whatever this
Yeah,
manifestation is. You're going to have to share with me offline.
No, that was it. That was it.
Oh,
this Netflix thing.
The Netflix thing.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
there's a couple of things happening, but they're all going to happen. So I'm not worried.
Yeah. So the other, but this future gig is the Netflix.
Yeah.
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 All right, great.
Yeah.
So whatever the show is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crossing my fingers for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now as we move forward, how are you going to continue this magic? 'Cause we're 2 months post ceremony. You're still shining. You're glowing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, you're a testament to why I do this work. So
Well, I
people
mean,
that
when
can-
I was here, I was just like, I said to you, you have a gift. Like,
Thank
you truly have a gift, and you truly were meant to do this. And, yeah, it just, it's not scary. I mean, there's some weirdness, right?
It's weird sometimes.
It
Yeah.
gets a little weird.
Just like life.
But not scary, you know? I mean, I think one of the things that was super helpful for me was you were like, this is gonna happen. This is like, you walked me through everything so that when I was in that moment, I knew everything. So I was like, okay, well, he said this, you know, because it's not like you're out of your mind or something that you don't. I mean, that was my experience. I don't know what everybody's experience is.
Yeah.
I'm sure lots of people have different things. You know, I didn't really have a lot of demons in my world just because I don't. You know, other people may have other things, but so that was really helpful. So I wasn't scared. I definitely look forward to working with you again in that capacity. Like I said, coming from a different spot now, you know?
Right.
And I think that just, you know, staying intentional, you know, I was on a show, you know, last week, and this was like, remember we were trying to get a date, and I'm like, I've got all these things. And I was on, you know, up at 4:30 every day, and I get up at 5 anyway. But somehow that extra half hour,
Oh, yeah, it's big.
and getting in the car at 5:30, when normally I'm like on my couch like meditating at 5:30, was a very different thing. So I wasn't able to do all the things because I was like, I'm not getting up at 3:30 to like go walk and listen and whatever. But I listen to the music in the car.
Nice.
And I listen to, rather than read, I listen to the things in the car, right? And so you do what you can when you can, and then today was the first day I was able to do like all my stuff again in like weeks.
Nice.
And it felt so good,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and you were in full release when you walked in, open to the experience,
Yeah.
open to whatever the messages were going to be. Because I've seen it other ways where people. I had one yesterday. You know, someone sat there in their couldn't get out of their own mind to
Yeah.
just let go and
Yeah.
release.
Which is a bummer.
It's a big bummer.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, why do it?
Yeah. I mean,
You know, if you're going to resist the whole thing.
yeah, because you're about to get information. Nature is going to come and speak to you.
And that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It literally felt like I said, and I remember saying to you, because you're clear the whole time. You know what I mean? You have all these things going on when you're like laying down and with the mask on, and the mask was super helpful. I remember saying, I'm like, oh, the mask does help.
Yeah.
Because at first I didn't. I was like, but you know, you take the mask off and you're clear, you know. But I remember like going, it felt like the whole, like this space is so beautiful, you know, and the where you're up in the mountaintops and stuff. And I just remember, I'm like, was that real or was it me? Like the winds changing, and there was a moment that I was having, and I felt, you know, like the ancestral part of it, you know, literally speaking to me.
Yeah.
And literally telling, that's where the whole divine thing for me came. I was like, this shit's divine. Like, it's not nothing what you do.
Yeah.
It's not, you know what I mean? It's not just clothes. It's like, you do change people's lives. Like, fucking own it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
But I knew it, but I didn't, again, you know, whatever. And so the whole thing of just like being out in that space, and the winds changed, and birds, and like, I was like, what is going on? And I'm like, then I was driving here today. I'm like, did that happen or was that just in my head? You know what I mean?
That happened.
It did happen.
Yeah, it all happened for you.
Yeah, it really did.
It's pretty magical. I mean, obviously we've been doing this for thousands of years, but we've forgotten over the years what really works. And this connection to nature, but most importantly, connection to source, connection to our soul of like, oh yeah, I'm here doing great things in this world. Yeah. It's a good reminder, a good mirror to show you how amazing you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And two, I think what also was very helpful going into it was you had said to watch the
How to Change Your Mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was great. And I've told a bunch of people about it. I'm like, you got to watch that and then you got to go see him. Yeah. But, because I think people have ideas about it that who knows what they are. And, again, some people are nervous about it or some people are taboo about it or whatever. But like, watching that too, I was not that person because I'm an open person, but just watching it and how it was like an ancestral thing. Like this was a real thing. And then it became this drug that was like not allowed and for people to have and to use and all this stuff. And what a shame that is, right? And that it's having to be fought to be back used again in the way that you're using it and helping people. And then we even talked about it, like people, because there was a woman in one of those that was going through cancer. And, I had this whole thing with my mom. Both my parents died from cancer. And I want to do a, my mom used to say when she was going to chemo, I'm going to club chemo. And she was like the brightest person in the room. I mean, sick as a dog, no hair, like all the things, like you could see it, the poison running through your thing. And I remember going with her and being like, why does this room have to be such a frickin' hell?
Right.
Like, why can't it be nice in here? They know they're sick. Like, they know they're getting hooked up to, like, poison, And, the idea, and I had to talk to my mom, like, I want to, like, have Lori's Club Chemo, because that's what she used to call it, and, like, have a thing to go and, like, redecorate these rooms so that people go in. It's a cozy space like this, know? And then, like, and then I remember saying to you, like, having what you do more incorporated into that world, because I think so many people, and, you meet so many people in those rooms that are at different points in their life. Some are young, some are old, some are dealing with it in one way, some are dealing with it in another way. But to like open up your mind and your heart in that way, and I think that there could be a lot of good for people, and a lot of soothing and calm and relief and take away the scaredness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's where the future of medicine's going. It has been shunned for a long time, and I think one of the important things, that's why I'm doing this podcast too, is to normalize it.
Right.
Normalize, like normal people are doing this. This isn't just some weird hippie thing
that they do in California.
Especially Topanga.
Not that you're a cliche or anything.
Not saying, I'm just saying. And normal people do this.
Yes.
Normal
people with normal jobs and normal lives.
Right.
Yeah.
People dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, on that precipice of, my doctor's recommending SSRIs. Well, let's go to the root of it. Why is that all coming up?
Wait, what's SSRIs?
Like antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds. Yeah. I see a lot of people who are like, well, my doctor, is like, yeah, you're stressed out.
Yeah.
Let's go find the root of where that stress is coming from instead of just masking that pain for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And it's pretty amazing how it does that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it works, the chemical process of it, but it really is amazing. And I do think that there's definitely the chemical portion of it that helps you get there. But what I think it's actually doing is helping you actually just like open.
Yeah.
Like crack open to like the universe, to source, to whatever, right? Not, there it is again.
It's all good.
Crack open to all of that, universe and potential and truth and love and all those things,
Yeah, but I would say we were more open to that when we were living off the land. Our connection, our antenna to source and to nature was very in tune.
Yeah.
Over the years now that we live where we do and, we're just bombarded by information on our phones, we've lost that connection. Much. So a deeper experience, especially into mushrooms, into psilocybin, is that connection back into source. It's sharpening your own tools, connecting your own antenna back to source, back to God, whatever you believe your God is. And it's been magical for myself, and I'm glad that you came here. We've got people trying to come out. Wonder if they could hear that.
Exactly.
It's all good. Well, on that, I think we did great. If you have anything else you want to share, I would say I wanted to ask, any of the younger people coming up in the business, if you had any insight for them?
That's a good question, actually. So when you're younger, take every job that comes your way. The hardest ones will teach you the most. When you want to quit, don't. Like when I got Deal, that show was so big. And it was so good that I didn't actually know. I don't mean it was big in terms of just it was a big show to 18, 20 million people, but it was big in amount of people and clothes and what it took to make it happen. And if I had known that, I might have shied away from it because I had never done that. Just two people at a time, two hosts at a time. And then maybe somebody coming out as a guest, it was a cast of 28, plus Howie, plus banker bodyguards, plus contestants. And all that it took to make that thing happen, it was the hardest thing. And I remember so many times on my morning walks after Tony Robbins, thinking about that. And I remember, so that was 20 years ago, because I had been to Tony Robbins before listening to Bon Jovi. Like, what song was it? I'm a Jersey girl. Not living on a prayer. It's living on a prayer. No, it was the one of it's my life.
Oh,
it's my life. And it's now on never. All that, and I would crank that shit and walk because I was so stressed out. I mean, it was insane. This is before you're like all the online shopping was what it was, the cell phone, like all the things, right? And I remember thinking, I can't do this. Like I can't. It's too much. Just too much. And then saying to myself, like, I will be damned. I knew there would be a point that, when you're lifting a boulder up a hill and then you get to like the peak and then you go, and then it just goes. I'm like, I'll be damned if I get it up to here, walk away, and somebody goes to my ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I say, to the youngers, take every hard job you can. Those are the ones where you learn the most and you get the best at your craft and you can do stuff that other people can't because you had problems other people didn't.
Right. Good advice.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Say yes.
Especially when you're young, go work hard.
Yeah, you've got nothing but time.
That's right.
And energy.
Yeah.
And by the way, they have tools we didn't have then.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to do what I did now, whatever.
Yeah.
To do this now than it was then.
Because they could Google you or go follow what you're saying.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, in that, I appreciate you coming in, sharing
your
story.
So
absolutely. Fun. And loving your medicine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, intentional.
Yes.
Stylist.
Yes.
And anything else?
No. Keep
love your life.
Yeah. Love your life.
Love
That's
it.
a good one.
All right. Thanks, Dina.
Thank you.